Welcome back. In this chapter, we'll walk you through the Nudging Toolkit, the central resource developed in Web Package 4 of the Nudging 360 project. This toolkit was designed specifically for higher education administrators who want to apply behavioral insights in a practical, ethical, and adaptable way, especially when supporting digital teaching and learning. So what exactly is it? The Nudging Toolkit is a structured collection of nudging strategies, templates, and ethical guidance designed to help you promote digital engagement among staff, not through enforcement, but by shaping choice environments. It supports institutions by making digital behaviors more attractive, social, and easy, all while preserving the freedom of choice and educator autonomy. Let's have a look at how it's organized. Depending on the version you're using, the toolkit may be an interactive digital resource or a downloadable PDF, but either way, the structure is consistent. What you'll find is a clear introduction to the purpose and theory behind nudging in education, a set of ready-to-use digital nudge templates, a section on ethical considerations developed with guidance from the Nudging Ethics Council, and a customization pathway that will help you adapt nudges to your own institution's context. Each section is designed for quick navigation, so you can browse, test, adapt, and implement nudges based on your odds and local environment. Now let's break those into core components. The first core component is ready-to-use digital nudge templates. These are practical nudging ideas addressing common barriers in digital adoption, like low confidence, lack of time, or inconsistent engagement. Each template includes a short description of behavioral challenges it targets, a nudge strategy grounded in behavioral science, suggested implementation steps, and optional metrics for tracking impact. You can pick and adapt the nudges that best fit your institutional needs. No behavioral expertise is required. The second core component of the toolkit is ethical considerations and guidelines. Because nudging isn't just about effectiveness, it's also about doing it ethically. That's why the toolkit includes principles developed by the Nudging Ethics Council, a team of experts who reviewed all toolkit components. The ethical guidelines help you ensure nudges are transparent and non-manipulative, aligned with institutional values, and that they're designed to enhance, not undermine, autonomy. You'll also find tips for communicating nudging strategies to staff in a way that builds trust and buy-in. The third core aspect is customization pathways for local adaptation. No two institutions are the same. That's why the Nudging Toolkit was built to be flexible. For each nudge, you'll find suggestions on how to tailor the message tone and timing, ways to align with digital systems or values, how to embed nudges into everyday communication, policy, or platform design. Whether you're rolling out institutional-wide digital strategies or working within a single department, these pathways help ensure your nudges are context-sensitive and scalable. Now let's take a deeper look at 3 highlighted nudges that show how this approach works in practice. Digital Professor of the Year. This nudge uses public recognition to celebrate educators who are making meaningful efforts in digital teaching, regardless of technical expertise. By making digital engagement visible and socially valued, it encourages others to experiment and participate. Institutions that piloted this nudge reported increased uptake of digital tools and more peer-to-peer knowledge sharing. This nudge is rooted in social norms and recognition psychology. This is the idea that when we see our peers being rewarded for a behavior, we're more likely to follow. Rather than celebrating research output or publication metrics, this initiative highlights educators who engaged actively and creatively with digital tools. What made it work? So firstly, it framed digital engagement as a respected social identity. The criteria were inclusive, focused on effort, creativity, improvement, and not technical perfection. Visibility was key. Winners were profiled in staff portals or recognized in faculty meetings. This nudge triggered a ripple effect. Colleagues who had been hesitant began experimenting with tools, encouraged by the ideas that even small digital steps could be valued. And it worked because it created positive peer role models. It boosted motivation without pressure and gave digital behavior real visibility and reward. The second example we have is engagement dashboards. So dashboards offer educators private visual feedback on their digital activity, such as LMS, so learning management systems, resource sharing, or feedback completion. This gentle nudge supports self-reflection and encourages behavior change without judgment or external pressure. The outcome is greater awareness of digital habits and improved consistency in platform use across departments. This nudge uses feedback loops to drive self-reflection. The dashboard displays staff engagement with digital systems, for example, LMS activity, shared resources, or use of feedback tools. But unlike performance tracking tools, these dashboards are private by default, giving educators control over their data. But they're also framed positively, with prompts like, nice progress, or you've increased participation this month. The other thing is that they were intended to prompt self-regulation, not surveillance. Where consent was given, they were also used in a supported development conversation, never as a ranking tool. And it worked because it made invisible digital behaviors visible and trackable. It encouraged personal reflection, and it respected educational autonomy. The final example from the toolkit in this video is automated accessibility prompts. So these prompts can appear at key moments, such as when uploading teaching materials, or to remind educators about small actions that improve accessibility. By making inclusive practices easy, timely, and low effort, the nudge helps staff adopt accessibility as part of their routine. Institutions saw an increase in alt text use, accessible file formats, and staff confidence in inclusive teaching. This nudge is all about timing and ease of action. It presents educators with short prompts when uploading course materials. For example, would you like to add alt text to your images? Or this PDF may not be screen reader compatible. Would you like help? And what made it successful? It appeared exactly at the right time while uploading the content. So as the person was trying to upload something, that's when it would pop out. It offered one-click support, removing barriers to action. So there wasn't a huge process that people had to do. It was just one click. And the tone was supportive, not corrective. Educators said they were more likely to take the accessibility step when reminded at the point of need, especially when it was framed as a positive contribution to inclusion. It worked because it turned best practice into default consideration. It built confidence in inclusive design and aligned with institutional values. Each of these nudges demonstrated a different behavioral principle: recognition, feedback, and time. And all of them can be adapted, scaled, or combined depending on your institutional needs. In the next section, we'll explore how to select, customize, and implement a nudge using the toolkit. But before we do, we invite you to have a look at the toolkit itself. Familiarize yourself with its structure, browse the highlighted nudges, and consider where you might want to begin experimenting. See you in the next chapter.